So people are talking about this a lot, and I have a very different opinion on it. Hello, all you amazing people, and remember, you're always amazing because you clicked on us on one YouTuber's video. Currently, we're at 815 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the GameSpot interview. Everybody's talking about it, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, why? If you actually paid attention to how Genshin handles their game, I don't think that this is shocking at all. This first question is basically like, yo, all these updates have been 1 week shorter. How long is this going to last? It's going to last till 3.2. That's all you need to know. Second one. Oh my god, people are having just temper tantrums. Well, I don't want to call it that. I think people are just disappointed. It's like that disappointed father. They're like, I think people are just more like, I've been playing this game for 2 years, and now my character that I've been building like forever to make sure that they're the best of the best is now like obsolete because he's always been able to beat Spiral Abyss easily. The entire thing for this is we're not adding in-game content. We want to focus on different game modes, which I agree with. I don't know if I'll like TCG. I just don't really like trading card games. Not my thing. But we will see how it works, because if they add it like a gacha system and you use primo gems to get it, then I'm definitely not playing it, because it's just an annoying system at that point, and they did it the worst way possible. But I doubt that they're going to do that. I think they're going to do it like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, if you know what that is. And they also probably shouldn't make it too complicated, because if we get into a little bit later on, we'll see. So this is the part where they lose me here. And also, and here, like right here, like the most effective ways for players to test out their strength. No, Masanori is. Because Spiral Abyss is annoying, and it's, while yes, it's realistic, it's hard to, see the raw damage numbers. Because, something can go not your way. Let's say you're using one of those weapons who require a certain amount of enemies next to you, but then like the buff never procs on because the enemies are so spread out. Like, they specifically design it to work against certain characters, right? This current Spiral Abyss, Kazuha, from what I can tell, he's not exactly like the end-all be-all right now because of all the characters being spread out. And currently, single target DPSs are way more effective in Spiral Abyss because there is like just a whole bunch of bosses that they put at the end in floor 12. This is a lie. It's not true. AoE teams currently are not as effective. However, 2 weeks from now, AoE teams could be like the strongest characters in the game. They could be the most useful characters in the game. However, when you look at this and it's like, oh, well, we have one singular boss. Right now, all the single target DPSs are some of the best in the game. They don't require as many bursts to, proc. And it's just, yeah. If it wasn't changing, I could see where they're coming from. But Spiral Abyss is always changing. It's always getting different buffs. So it's not an effective way for people to tell how strong a character is. Someone takes Sinnoh into the new Spiral Abyss. They're like, oh my god, he's a god. He's amazing. What are people calling him mid for? I think this is a dumb way of explaining what Spiral Abyss is meant for. This is the dumbest way. This Spiral Abyss is meant to be the hardest content in the game, and it succeeds at that because, well, yes, it's not exactly the most hardest content in the game. At AR like 50, you're probably 36 starring it every single time. Currently, all I have to do is use my Itto and my Kazuha National. Now let's take my Itto team and replace Zhongli with Ningguang, and at that point, you don't need anything except 2 5-stars and a couple 4-stars. And that's all you need to beat Spiral Abyss. There might be some hope still for like different game modes, because TCG, they can't really do that much like beyond the regular combat, right? They can't really do that much. So I feel like they might go back to a different version, or like, I think they might do something different than Spiral Abyss. But I don't think that it's gonna be on Spiral Abyss's level. I think it might just be, like, get the highest score, and that's, it's hard for me to explain it, but it's like, just have something in the game where we fight a lot of enemies, and it's like a wave thing. It doesn't have to be Spiral Abyss. It doesn't have to give the same rewards as Spiral Abyss. It doesn't have to refresh. It can just be something that we do in the game once, and we can just go back and test our characters on. That's all it has to be. Spiral Abyss will be the only in-game content as of now. They have made up their mind, and they're saying no permanent in-game content as of now. And then TCG's coming out. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, this is the dumbest statement that they've made in this. All right, So we go back and we're like, hey, yo, those older characters, it's actually not the older characters. It's the newer characters that are getting left behind. So the newer characters are getting left behind because, you know, the GameSpot doesn't realize, you know, the actual the actual need, because we haven't gotten a better character than Kazuha. It's been a year since we got a different character to be #1 in the game than Kazuha. The entire Genshin community is annoyed at this because it just feels like they're nerfing the new characters, but whatever. If a character is only assessed by a single dimension of numerical strength, power creep could indeed be an issue. Yeah. You think? So what are we talking about here? Like, are you seriously saying that overworld is an important factor in how good a character is because they all move the same? Are we seriously gonna say that Ayaka, because of her sprint, is like one of the best characters in the game? She is one of the best characters in the game, but you cannot say that because of her sprint. This is just a dumb way to look at it. The rules of gameplay are more impactful. No, they're not. Rules of gameplay. Do you want to know an exact character that defies this rules of gameplay? The character that doesn't do reactions, the character that is 3rd best DPS in the game, in my opinion? Ito. He's Unga Bunga kill. Rules of gameplay. Tell me what rules we're following here. This is the dumbest statement they made. Also, I would like to like notice this, like, you know, new challenge levels. They might not be permanent, however. I don't know what they mean by this, but I mean, they could just mean, you know, like different domains and stuff, possibly. Wow. You know, I'm upset about everything except this. This did not surprise me at all. However, as soon as we get past those questions, my God, I get angry. Because this is the dumbest thing they made again. Like, oh, we don't want this is basically saying we don't want the game to be too complicated. Okay, so one element applies to a different element, and that does that. So, if we're seriously saying that we didn't get a Geo reaction that was very needed, like, they seriously did not give a single reaction to Geo. Geo has, like, Crystallize and I think one more, but it's never used because it's so bad. Like, it's so dumb. There should have been some Vaporize type reaction, or maybe, you know, an Overload type reaction with Geo and Dendro. Please, could we do something? Because it could have been called Erosion. The most basic of things. Like, they seriously were so dumb when they didn't add this, and they're just like, we didn't want to make the game too complicated. You seriously needed to add one reaction for Geo? And that game would have made the game too complicated? First of all, Hyper Bloom and Burngeon, the two most complicated reactions because they require 3 elements. Yeah, I don't think that it matters that you would have given Geo one singular reaction. This is them just covering up. I don't believe that what they're saying here. This is not what they're saying. I don't believe it. They're just lying at this point. I actually do not believe. The balancing of all gameplay rules is a part of the team's long-term, yeah, whatever. The balancing I can get, you know, because if Ito came out there and started doing a lot more damage with his charge attacks, you know, I could see him being like 1 in the game. I don't know what his ICD is, but I don't think it's that bad. I think he'd actually be able to proc reactions every single hit, but you would have to have ICD on the other character who's applying Dendro. But that's less important. But yeah, this was the stupidest thing. I just keep going into this, and you get angry at everything else that everybody else is not getting angry at. Here's another awful take that they have. So for this next question, they're talking about the resin and its cap. I don't think the cap would ever increase. The cap, we complained about it, and then they increased the cap, and now it's just like, well, still don't care because you didn't do anything about the actual problem. So yeah, they did alter weekly bosses, but this is exactly saying that no, we're not decreasing the resin cost or increasing the resin cap or the way it regenerates. This basically means we're not doing anything about the resin. Stop asking us. And then this one is a little dumb. I don't even know why they asked this, but whatever. Introductions. Official and Mona's first introductions. This all happened in Scaramouche showed up. Yeah, whatever. So the Archon quest in Scaramouche showed up. It was in a stars. I can speak from experience. It was not that big of a deal that Scaramouche showed up in that event, because I feel like I would have known just as little as I would have before. Like, I mean, I did that event. I started it, but then I quit the game. So I did that event. I started it, but then I sort of dipped out of the game. So yeah, they're saying they're looking for solutions for it. I don't even think it's that bad. I really don't even think it's that bad of an issue. This issue does not seem bad to me at all. I do not care at all. So let's go for this one first. So are we gonna get an outfit for the Traveler? No. And this one here is, are we gonna be able to put accessories on our Traveler? And they're like, maybe. We don't really want to make any promises, but maybe. And then we're talking about collabs, and Genshin says we're more interested in building up Genshin than collabing with another game. And this is talking about their own franchises too. So I don't think that, you know, the Spiral Abyss one, this one is even coming close to the worst, like, culprit for here. I think it's clearly this one to me. It's so just like a, yeah, when we add that next weekly boss, you guys better be prepared to basically use all your resin for like 2 days. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.